how do you respond to those errors makes the biggest difference. Because if someone makes a quote unquote catastrophic error, are you just coming in and just like piling on them and just like coming in hot and heavy, like, how dare you do all that stuff? And do something like that again, I'm going to let you go. Then what ends up actually happening even more is that you're continuing to disempower your employees, because now they're going to be scared at every turn.
Yeah. But okay, let's look at it from the perspective of a manager, of a CEO, or what have you. They might be thinking, I need to be in the loop on everything happening in my company. It's my company, the buck stops here. I'm responsible for what happens. So I need to be in the loop. I can't let things slip through the cracks. How can they prevent costly mistakes from occurring if they're stepping back and letting go of control?
Well, I mean, the first thing they have to realize is there will be mistakes. It's not even if. There will be. I mean, because you're dealing with humans, so someone's going to make a mistake here and there. And really what you're talking about is the structure of the organization. So if an owner, I mean, we're not talking about someone who has a company of the size of 2 or 3 people. I mean, you're not going to be able to create structure like that. But if you have organizations where you have 50, 60, 70 employees, then structure is really a part of it, because you might have managers, and then those are the people you need to delegate to, right? So it automatically creates an environment of empowerment. But if you're feeling like, well, I got to talk to my managers, then I got to also talk to the people that are underneath the managers and the people that are underneath them, and so forth and so on, then that's a huge problem, because then nothing can ever get done without you. And then you end up creating a bottleneck situation. So it's super important that owners, especially of businesses that are that size and larger, they have to create a structure that empowers the people that are below them, or I should say that are following them, the other leaders of the organization, and that their words should really just stop with them, and that they're entrusting the other leaders to be the guardians of their vision, of their value. And if they've done a good job of communicating those things to the other leaders, then they don't have to be in every single meeting, because they understand that I have hired the right people for my organization. I've built them up. I've empowered them to the point that I can actually step away, and they're still going to be an extension of me. So, I like to use sports analogies, right? And because they're just so universal. It's like if you have a Peyton Manning on your team, he is an extension of the coach. If you have somebody who's talented like that, and you've put in him all the plays, how to read defenses, and to be able to know the right plays to call, then I could just stand on the sideline and reap the benefits of having somebody like that, because I've entrusted them, I've built them up, and they're actually an extension of my voice. So it's like, for owners, they have to think in that way. Who are the people that are going to be that for my organization?
Seems like there also needs to be, you have to realize there are different kinds of errors, different levels. A typo is not a catastrophic error. So is it your job as the owner of the business to be proofreading everything, or have you hired someone that you can feel confident in proofreading, and that you can focus on larger scale errors, preventing those from happening?
Let me just say this, because you're saying a point that I think owners or leaders of an organization need to come to terms with. How do you respond to those errors makes the biggest difference. Because if someone makes a quote unquote catastrophic error, are you just coming in and just like piling on them and just like coming in hot and heavy, like, how dare you do all that stuff? And I'm do something like that again, I'm going to let you go. Then what ends up actually happening even more is that you're continuing to disempower your employees, because now they're going to be scared at every turn. They're going to be questioning everything. So it's important that even during those mistakes, it's a teachable moment. It's also a moment that you can empower the person. They go, you know what? Okay, so like say in this situation, you might have someone running an ad.
Yeah.
Okay, they did something where they accidentally set the bid was maybe supposed to be $10 per click. They actually set it at $100. And you wake up in the next morning. Yeah. You wake up the next morning and oh my gosh, all of a sudden you get a bill from, Facebook or one of those platforms, and it's $10,000 and you normally spend $500 for the day, right?
Yeah.
Right. Well,
It's terrifying.
It's horrible. But I gotta tell you though, how you respond to that employee can actually create an employee that's going to be loyal to you.
Yeah.
Because if you go in and you go, you know what, I'm going to give you the account again because I know you've learned your lesson. I know that you're never going to do something like this. So actually, why don't we give him the account where we spend $50,000? Right? Because it's just automatically in that person's mind is like, oh, okay. All right, you're right. I'm going to be super vigilant. I'm going to make sure that every single bid I do is just spot on. But if you come in and you're hot and heavy with that person, what ends up happening is they won't even like manage an account. Matter of fact, each time that they go into it, they're going to be so fearful. Then they're going to be going to their managers or whoever is on their team. Hey, can you look at my account? Can you look at my account? And then it's like everybody on the team was like, oh my gosh, like, dude, you're asking me again to look at the account? And it's because how that person is responding to those mistakes really creates that environment of either people pleasers or you're creating teams of professionals. And, and that's one of the things here that we really focus on is that we want to have an environment of professionals. And with that, you as a leader also have to be professional in the way that you handle these situations.
Yeah. Absolutely. It's something that I've learned from you is that two qualities of a good leader is, I'd say, enlisting your employees underneath you, galvanizing them behind your cause, your mission, and then extreme ownership. I think we're an extreme ownership organization where if you step in when a mistake has been made and try to fix it, you're robbing a beautiful gift, a gift of learning. And I think that what happens is if you can let an employee make a mistake, they come back from that mistake so much stronger, right? And that if you step in and try to fix it, you're actually also taking away the gift of having an independent employee who takes ownership of their problems and things slowly get better. I think the hard part is accepting, like what you said earlier, that there's short-term pain for a long-term benefit. The short-term pain is that there are going to be mistakes, but that's the price you have to pay to have an employee who really stewards their role and their responsibilities well. So that's, I think, a tough thing to do for most people.
I like to tell this other story, okay? If you're a Laker fan, you totally know this one. Right? I think it was like the 97, 98 playoffs, somewhere around there. In the last second shot against Utah Jazz, the Lakers were playing them. And this was like a young Kobe Bryant. And I think he was like a rookie at the time or a second-year player, one of the two. And normally in those situations, you give it to your veterans. You give it to the guys that have been in the league forever. Well, Kobe decides that he's going to take, I think, 2 or 3 threes at the end of the game. Air balls, every single one of them. And after the game, Shaq puts his arms around him. And it's just like, hey, you're going to be amazing. Keep shooting. Keep going. Keep striving, pretty much. And they go on and win all these championships. So it's like, the opposite could have happened. It could have been like, what are you doing, dude? You're a rookie. Why are you taking these shots? Pass the ball. I'm Shaq. Give it to me. Give it to the other guys over there. They've been in the league longer than you. Don't ever do that again. And it could have demoralized him. And we could be talking about a different legacy for that man. So it's those moments of how you respond is why it's so critical, because you could be stifling someone who can end up being the Kobe of your organization, or in your case, the Larry Bird of the situation, right?
Yeah.